Hi, Mike here from Supreme Gadgets. Hope you're enjoying our videos so far, and today I've got a rather special video for you all because I'm in the box room with our old iMac G4. Now I told you about our old iMac G4 back when I unboxed the iLight iPad stand, and I said it was one of the most fantastically styled computers ever made, and that we got one in September 2003. Well, this is it. So I'm going to show you around it today. So before I actually turn the machine on, let's just have a quick look around the actual computer itself. I just have to apologise for the light in this room. I know it isn't fantastic, but here is the iMac G4, the 17-inch model that we bought in September 2003, with the dome-shaped computer underneath the monitor there. And if we go around the back, the swivel arm that moves the monitor up and down and left and right like that, which you don't get many computers having that feature on these days. Around the back we've got USB ports, Firewire ports, power ports and the audio ports and that type of thing, and the power switch as well, which is usually always round the back of Mac computers. We've got here the keyboard that originally came with the Mac. I'll just lift the monitor up a little bit so we can see it. So we've got the full keyboard, USB keyboard, and the original mouse as well that came with the Mac. We've got the Pro speakers as well. Now these are great speakers, they really are. You can actually see the actual speaker itself vibrating to the music, so it's quite interesting to watch them sometimes. So they are really good speakers. As you can see, it's got a DVD drive as well. So let's get this fella booted up. Okay, so here we are, ready to boot up. So I have to go around the back of the Mac and press the power switch on this side and hear the familiar iMac sound chime. And let's see how long it takes to boot up. Now obviously with modern iMacs you have SSDs, modern MacBooks and that sort of thing, they're all SSDs. This is actually a traditional hard drive. It's an 80GB hard drive and it's running Mac OS X Tiger, which is Mac OS 10.4 to be precise. 4.11 I think we've got on here. So you can see it's a little bit slower than normal Macs, new Macs sorry, but it is booting up. It is probably faster than a lot of Windows computers in those days when this came out. So here we are at the password screen. I'll just pop my password in. Won't be okay, so I'll just pop my password in. I'm just going to boot into the actual system itself now. I did customise the Mac a bit, so I've got different background wallpapers and that sort of thing. Obviously you do that. Okay, and here we are. Mac's virtually booted up now, which has got a few more things to load. Got the virus scanner loading, which is the same virus scanner that I've got on my MacBook Air, which is Clam XAV, which is a great antivirus for protecting against Windows and Mac viruses. We've got Spotlight on here, although it doesn't work fantastically. This is actually a 1 GHz processor, and we've got 768 megabytes of RAM as well. It did used to have 256 gigabytes, but I managed to upgrade it to the 768. Now unfortunately I can't use a screen capture software on this computer because there isn't any QuickTime 10 that I normally use on my MacBook Air, and I've just had a quick look to see if there is anything on the internet for G4 computers, and there doesn't seem to be that many these days. So I'll just have to film it with my camcorder. So as you can see, this is the desktop. You get the usual Finder, which is obviously the same as you get on the more recent Mavericks software. We're going to About This Mac. If we can see here, it says Mac OS X or 10 version 10.4.11. It's a 1 GHz PowerPC G4 processor, 760 megabytes of DDR SD RAM, and his startup disk is the hard drive, which is an 80 gig hard drive, as I said. We give that a close. Okay, we've got the dock down here, as it is always, you know, featured in Mac OS X. But because it is Tiger and not the more later versions, it does look a little bit different. Obviously, we've got a blue Apple icon up here rather than a black one, and we've got more of a brushed metal finish here. It looks a bit flatter, but then again, we're going back to that style with Yosemite. We've got our trash can as usual here, which I'll actually just empty because it's got some recovered files in, so we have to go into Finder, Empty Trash, and we get the usual crumpling up of paper. We've actually got a classic operating system on here, so it's Mac OS 9, so if we need to use that for any reason, here it is. This is actually starting up the classic environment, which you don't get on Intel-based processor, Intel-based Macs. So there you are, Mac OS 9.2. And once that is started up, then you can actually use old Mac OS 9.2 software. So anything that wouldn't run in Mac OS 10, you can use on this. And let the system just load up. Oops. And then you can go into this option here. You got things like calculator, so you can bring up the old-fashioned calculator there if you want. And then you get the actual Mac OS 9 menu bar at the top as well, so we can go into the coloured Apple icon. Oh, there's my cat, Isaac. And you get all the different options and the little clicking sound as well. So let's see what applications we've got on here. Where are the applications? Recent applications. We've got a graphing calculator, got Netscape communicator. I wonder if this still actually works. And Netscape Communicator 4.7. I've never actually been into this before, I don't think. Oh, there was my iPhone going off on one. Demon. I wonder if Google works. Let's go into Google. So I go www. Oh, yeah, it does work, but it looks totally different because obviously it isn't compatible with the old Netgear software. Netscape software, not Netgear. Into File and Quit, and we'll quit the calculator as well. We do get the dashboard on Tiger, which looks a bit like this. It does take a while to load up. We've got Safari, which is the older version of Safari, and it still does work. It still works fairly well. And I've also got 10.4 Fox as well, which is based on Firefox, but is a bang up to date internet browser for the G4. Because obviously Firefox was discontinued support for the G4 processors a few years ago, so this actually has taken its place. It's more of a community-based effort. As you can see, the loading times are quite a bit slower than modern computers. We've got the old iTunes there, we've got iPhoto and iMovie, iDVD even, which is no longer made. Here we are, here's 10.4 Fox, the internet browser, going onto the Apple's home page. Oh, sorry, no, that was Safari actually going into the Apple homepage. This is 10.4 Fox here. And it works fairly well, although it doesn't support Flash, although Flash never particularly worked very well on the G4 processors anyway. I can remember trying to watch a YouTube video on my G4, on this G4 years ago, and it was just so choppy, I gave up. But all my bookmarks there, just as they are on the modern Mac. So that works fairly well. 10.4 Fox. So if you've got a G4 Mac, then that's certainly worth a look at. And then we've got Safari here, which is, let's have a look which version it is. Version 4.1.3. So a fair way behind. 2010 it was last updated, this. So we'll just quit out of that because obviously the internet is quite slow on the G4. So we've got iMovie, iPhoto, iDVD, which was discontinued by Apple a few years ago because obviously they no longer supply DVD drives with their new Macs. We've actually got Final Cut Express on here as well, which is sort of the more consumer version of Final Cut Pro, which I got when I bought this computer. Got the iWorks predecessor, AppleWorks 6, a few other applications there, some games. The system preferences, which looks fairly similar to what it does these days. Not much is altered really on the old system preferences. We've got QuickTime Player 7. Going to QuickTime Player, yeah, QuickTime Player 7.6.4. Got the calendars and all kinds of different applications that you still get with the Macs. Obviously it's a little bit different on this, and it is a bit slow as well. The software update is different on this because instead of going into the App Store like you do with modern Macs on things like Maverick, Snow Leopard, Lion and that type of operating system, Mountain Lion, you get the App Store. This actually goes into the more traditional software update, which you still get on Windows computers for things like the iTunes. Obviously it's checking for new software, which it won't actually get any because there is no new software available, so we'll just cancel that. And then I've got my antivirus as well, which is Clam XAV. So if you've got a Mac, it is always worth having an antivirus on. This is one I use, Clam XAV. It does an update automatically when you go into it. I've got the Sentry up here, so that actually does sort of on guard. It keeps a watch over your computer. Okay, and just before we do go, let's just have a quick look at how fast something like Final Cut Express loads up. Obviously it's bouncing there, bounce, so it means it's loading. Final Cut Express was a very good editing software for the Mac, and I did do a fair bit of editing on it, but I haven't actually gone with Final Cut Pro yet on my new Mac because it is fairly expensive. This cost me about 80 quid when it came out in 2003. So it's just saying you can't find any Firewire camera, so we just click continue. There we are, just about. Offline files, immediate offline, so there we are, that's Final Cut Express. If we look at the about thing, copyright 2003, and we'll just say no to saving that. So that is the iMac G4. Hope you've enjoyed it. So I'll just do a shutdown and see how fast it shuts down. Apple file sharing user connected, yeah, okay, shut down. That's because my new Mac is actually connected to it at the moment. So I'll just shut down now. And that's my Isaac sticking his tongue out at us as it fades into shutdown. The resolution of the screen, by the way, is 1440 by 900, so it isn't quite a HD display, but it's fairly decent, and it's 17 inches, as I said I think earlier on as well. But it is 11 years old now, nearly, and it's still working fine. It's absolutely brilliant machine, it really has been all these years. And there we are, Shutdown. As you can see my reflection, hello! Okay, thanks very much for watching. Well, thanks for stopping by and checking out our video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and always give a comment below just to let us know what you think as well. Please also subscribe, that way you keep up to date with all our new videos. You can always follow us on Twitter at Supreme Gadgets too if you like, and you can always check out our blog as well. Also, if you want to see one of our other videos right now, click on it right here. See you again soon. Bye.